Okay, so to review amplitude spectrums, they are a graphic alternative to a waveform. We have amplitude as a function of frequency. The location of each vertical line on the horizontal axis indicates the frequency, and the height of each line indicates the amplitude. So in the top figure, we have, say, a sawtooth wave with harmonics at odd and even integer multiples. There's a negative 60 dB roll-off rate. The first fundamental frequency has the most energy, and each subsequent harmonic has 6 dB less energy than the one before it. So a complex periodic wave is produced by our vibrating vocal folds during vowel production. Imagine you did not have your head, and there was a microphone placed at the very top of your vocal folds. So without your oral cavity and without your nasal cavity, there's no way to influence the sound. How could you vary sounds that you produced without your oral cavity or nasal cavity? If I held a microphone directly to your vocal folds, what are some things that you could do to alter the sound that you produced? Right? So if I just did that and I held the microphone, there'd be a buzz sound, but we'd have a very limited range of vowels that we could produce. So we wouldn't have this very complex language system without our oral and our nasal cavities. All we would be able to do is to change three parameters. The amplitude, so you could raise or lower the volume of that buzz sound. The frequency, you could have a lower frequency buzz or a higher frequency buzz sound. And you could change the duration. So without your oral cavity or your nasal cavity, these resonance cavities, which we'll talk about, you would only be able to vary the amplitude, the frequency, and the duration of a buzz sound. So we wouldn't have this very complex language system if it weren't for your oral cavity and your nasal cavity, if it weren't for resonance and filtering. So we would not be able to have the vowels that we have without these important cavities. But we do. So to compensate for just having that buzz, we are able to reinforce or filter the sounds that come out of our vocal folds in our oral cavity. So through the process of resonance, the vocal fold source spectrum can be modified. So it can be changed so we don't have this very consistent roll-off rate. We can open our jaw or close our jaw or move our tongue forward or move it back, and we can shape the buzz that's coming out of our vocal folds. And we can resonate, we can amplify some of the harmonics, and we can filter and cut other of the other harmonics. So you see how if you look at the E sound in beat, there's a lot of filtering happening in the mid frequencies, but then there's resonance or amplification happening further on. Oo in boot has an entirely different pattern. So it's through resonance and filtering or amplification and cutting in our oral cavity by changing the shape of our mouth, we're able to take a sawtooth wave and shape it to the sounds that we need for speech.